What do we want? Green New Deal! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Green New Deal! When do we want it? Now! I say up with the planet, you say up, up. When I say down with oil, you say boom, boom. Up with the planet! Up, up! Up with the planet! Up, up! Down with oil! Boom, boom! Down with oil! Boom, boom! Said up with the planet! Up, up! Up with the planet! Up, up! Down with oil. Boom, boom. Dirty oil. Boom, boom. What do we want? Green New Deal. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Green New Deal. When do we want it? Now. All right, so first off, I want to thank everyone for coming. I'm Benjamin. I'm with Greenpower. Thank you so much to all of you who made a long trek, and also to all of those of you who came from closer by. We really appreciate it. So, because of the weather, a lot of the logistics for today changed. They closed off 10th Street, so they wouldn't let us in there. So what we're going to do is, Chuck and Chris have cameras, and we want to take maybe about 10 minutes or so, and with the sort of Capitol in the background, talk to anyone on camera who would like to say a few words about why you support a Green New Deal, why it's important that we tackle climate change and do something serious about it and take bold action now. We're going to put together a short video about today and about the fight for Green New Deal in California, and we'd love it if you would say a few words on camera. So we'll spend about 10 minutes doing that, and then we're going to go inside through the doors, through security there. We're going to go down the hallway to the big Capitol Rotunda. It's really beautiful in there. We're going to line the hallways, and after the governor takes the oath of office, which they think is going to happen right around noon, he's going to come back inside and head towards his office. And so we'll be there for him to see us. And then we're going to deliver our open letter to him that's been signed by more than 60 elected officials and organizations from across the state. So that's the plan. So thank you very much. Yes?
Could you give us just a really quick rundown on the Green New Deal for those of us who might not be quite fully informed?
Absolutely. So the idea of a Green New Deal is that if we are going to address climate change and solve climate change, we need to take big, bold action now. We only have 12 years left, according to a lot of the experts and scientists, to completely change the way that we're treating the planet. Our carbon emissions need to start going down. They are still going up, unfortunately. So the idea of a Green New Deal is major investment by the state of California into addressing climate change, into modernizing our grid, into speeding up our transition to renewable energy, into addressing transportation, which accounts for about 39% of our carbon emissions. And so a Green New Deal is an umbrella package. Pauline is absolutely right. There are 3 land management practices that we can do, including sequestering carbon in the soil. They could help bring down our emissions by about 21%, recent studies show. So all of these things need to be done. And rather than fight this year for 2 or 3 of those, and next year for another 2 or 3, and then next year for another 2 or 3, we need to put all of them together into an umbrella package, a Green New Deal for California. And we need to build and weave together a broad coalition so that we can fight for all of these priorities at one time. At the end of 2017, Gavin Newsom published an essay about his priorities around the environment and his goals for fighting climate change, and it was a very bold agenda. So the reason we're here today is to urge him to follow through on his promises, and we have an open letter that's been signed by about 60 elected officials and organizations from across the state, including a former president of the California Public Utilities Commission, a number of mayors and vice mayors and city council members, and leaders of organizations from San Diego up through San Francisco. And it's calling on him to live up to those commitments that he has made and to put a moratorium on fracking and other dangerous oil extraction techniques and to address transportation. And what a Green New Deal can do is not only address climate change, but by making this investment in infrastructure, it can also create jobs, clean energy jobs, and we can address and rectify environmental injustice. It is communities of concern, vulnerable residents that are the victims of a lot of this, because it's their communities where power plants are built and toxic waste dumps are established. And not only do we need to clean those up, but the jobs for rectifying that injustice should go to people in the community. That's something that Governor-elect Newsom has talked about doing, and they did it in San Francisco. So that's what a Green New Deal is. That's why we're here. And it's incredibly important, and I thank all of you for being here to fight for it.
I'm really excited about this rollout of this new initiative. And the reason is because I feel like what we're going for with the Green New Deal is a coalition that is so interwoven throughout our communities in California. And using that people power to really pressure the new governor, who will be governor in just a few minutes, who wrote the essay about his bold, hopes and what he hopes to take in terms of actions to really make sure that we are meeting the demands of climate change and preventing the worst aspects of climate change. We only have about 12 more years to do this, and I really believe that we can do that. I think that all across the world and across our nation, people have been working to do this. Many of the people today who are here, Climate Action Network, and by coming together and really demanding that we get the jobs that would come with building the infrastructure for renewable energy and doing so many things that we can do, we will be able to make this bill happen in California this year. And by doing that, leading the way for the rest of the country to make sure that we're really getting the change that we need soon. So I'm really excited to be here today.
I'm here today because I'm concerned about climate change. I'm concerned about the condition of our planet. And I'm concerned that what would be happening to my children and grandchildren. We need to clean up our act. We need a Green Deal. We need to protect our environment, and we need to start doing something that climate change is climate change. It's one of the most important crises there is. And threats to climate change also threaten our democracy.
I'm Brett Garrett from Santa Cruz, and I'm really delighted to be here at Governor Newsom's inauguration. I see a huge potential for him to be stronger on climate than Governor Brown, especially in terms of banning fracking and starting a Green New Deal, which I feel like California and the nation both need a Green New Deal, and I think we can do it first in California, set an example for the nation. There's so much that needs to be done. Green jobs, green economy, green energy, more conservation of energy, more public transit that's more available to people, specifically low energy public transit like personal rapid transit, carbon fee and dividend, banning fracking, green jobs, all of the above. California can set a real example for the country, and I think Governor Newsom is the right one to do it.
I don't know if you share my opinion, but we're Earthlings. You think we need an Earth? I mean, it comes down to that. Even before human rights, there have to be rights of nature, because this is our environment. This is our placenta that humanity is trying to be born into something positive. If we don't have air and water and land and food to live with, we can't do anything. So this is the most important thing. A Green New Deal, quickly, now, has to have the urgency of the nonviolent equivalent of wartime, right? So we're peace warriors for the planet.
Not too loud, but what are we looking for?
Green New Deal.
A little louder?
Green New Deal. Newsom, new year, new Green Deal.
Green Deal. Go ahead, keep going all you like. I'm done. Whatever you gotta do, I'm good.
1, 2, 3. What do we want?
Green New Deal.
Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. What do we want?
Green New Deal.
He's done speaking, so he's the governor now. So I'm going to go deliver this letter to the receptionist. So let folks know that that's what we're doing. Cool.
Hey, good luck.
We're with you.
Green power.
Back for enough conversation with the governor.
Ben, are you the only one allowed to go in, or can I accompany you?
Which, so this is part of this door right here. Right down this hallway. Super easy, but it looks like right here, halfway down, they've got another very small hallway. It's the door right in front of you. We have no idea what they're going to allow today or not. We haven't been told what's going to allow.
We're talking about the we're not talking about where are we going to be.
Thank you.